Did I change the name of it? I don't know if I changed the name or not. I gotta look at that real quick. Give me a second. Give me the live. Let me see what. Okay, I did pick. Okay, I picked the right thing. Okay, thank goodness. If I didn't, I was cooked for sure. All right. Give me a second. Camera myself. All right. Okay, get myself perfect. And yeah, let's just put it right here. All right, what is good, everyone? It is your boy JJ. We're back on some The Grace of 30, and yeah, y'all, we're gonna try and get a lot of this thing out the way. We're gonna try and get most parts we can out the way. We might even try and beat the whole entire what you call it? Not game, but like maybe the entire fourth part of this whole thing. So we're gonna try and do that. Get all out the way, cause we got it to like maybe I said 8, right? Yeah, 8. So yeah, we'll go from there. And before I do, if y'all like the content, you know, give a like, you know, subscribe, all that good stuff. And who the heck this took to be? There we go. Okay, well, let's take it out. There we go. Alright, so yeah, let's ball though. And someone texted me about something. They said, can I do them a favor? I don't know what they want me to do. But yeah, I think last time where we left off in this thing, we were talking to Venus, Beppo, where the person that looks like Beppo, and then straight up, what's the guy's name? I forgot his name. Oh, Gossip. There you go. His name is Gossip. Okay. Gossip. He has a weird thing on his neck, which is kind of weird. But yeah, and he got, you know, all that stuff going on. She has firecrackers, tells the kids, she tells teachers, she gets her money, buy both things, and goes from there. So worth. So yeah, let's get on with it though. I'm sorry, I'm yapping too much, but okay. Anyway, make a habit of lying. Do you, Miss Venus? Well, I suppose so. I don't really know, to be fair. Why are you doing that non-stop? I feel like she's just a menace to society. And who just texts me? I can get text 24/7, like non-stop. Like, what the heck am I supposed to do about this? Okay. Let's go ahead and let's put it right here. If you want my advice, though, I take everything I say with a big pinch of salt. Alright. But you did in fact go to the room where the victim was killed on the day in question, didn't you? Oh please, as if I would. I can't think of anything more terrifying. The truth, please. Well, alright, just a bit then. I mean, a girl my age is curious about stuff, you know? Did you touch anything at the scene? Oh please, as if I would. I mean, there was a dead body on the floor. The truth, please. Well, alright, just a bit then. I had a look to see if there was anything I could sell. So I did give the place a once-over, but it was nothing to write home about. Right, now I hesitate to ask, but you didn't move the notice board by any chance, did you? Oh please, as if I would touch anything like that. Just a few bits of loose change is all I had. The truth, please. Well, alright then. I thought there might be something worth having underneath it. So I blasted the flippin' thing. Sorry. Flipped the blasted thing. You're telling us That you did move that board? I think that did slip out, didn't it? What? You daft barn pot! I don't believe it. The girl doesn't think. So, did you find anything then? Something that you might have taken perhaps? To sell? Oh please, I should be so lucky. In my imagination. The truth now! I might have found this old pocket watch under the notice board, I suppose. But a bit of junk like this can't be worth much if you ask. Ah! So it was you, was it? You're the one who took it. Gina? Young lady! May I remind you where you are? That watch there. That was the present of Inspector Gregson from the yard. For a big case solved 10 years ago. The professor case, no doubt. The boss used to wind it up every evening, without fail, when he was waiting for his grub to come at the pub. I see. I swiped it off him. Once blimey was he upset. He gave me a rightful earful, or a right earful. Said he hadn't missed a day in that last 10 years, polishing it and winding it. It meant the world to him. That watch did. Possibly not the best thing to go diving for then. It's not all that, though. I took it to Jabez that night to ask how much it was worth. The old dealer wouldn't touch it. Wouldn't give me a penny for it. Said it wasn't working. Knifed about and worthless, he called it. Ah! I knew I should have lifted it. That watch must be submitted as evidence at once. Oh, please, just so long as he promised to give it back when we're done. Not a chance. I'll swipe it from you if you try to get your grubby mitts on it again. That's enough. Hand the watch to the bailiff forthwith. Now, children. Watch your manners. Good Lord! The glass appears to be broken. More than likely, it shattered when the inspector was shot. It doesn't tick anymore either. Which is why Jabez didn't want it. What a waste, eh? Yes, indeed. It appears to have stopped at the hour 5. Let's see real quick. Did it say when he died? It just says it didn't say like a time of death he died or nothing. So it doesn't just talk about the time of death or nothing. Okay, go ahead. Exactly when the gunshot was heard then. Okay, so the gunshot was heard around then. Okay, so that gives us something to go off of. But the fireworks sound like gunshots anyway. Which supports the prosecution's claim, of course. Indeed it does. It says pocket watch has been submitted to the court records. Well, it would appear that the mystery of the moving notice board has been solved at last. Indeed it has. Wait, what? What's this right here? There's a tiny little stub sticking out of the from this small hole here. Look. Suppose there must have been a little knob or something on that for setting the time. In that case, seeing as we know the inspector took such good care of this watch, it probably broke when the incident occurred, didn't it? Yes, of course. Which could mean that there's a small part of the watch still at the scene, maybe. Right here. Ah, there's a tiny little keyhole here. Can you see it? Oh yes, that's probably for the winder used to wind the mechanism. It looks like a little unusual, don't you think? Yes, you need the right key to wind it up, I imagine. Why do I feel as though I've seen something? Something a bit like a key that's about the right size for this hole. It would be wonderful if we had the key. Let's check it carefully. We already We already know the answer. Take me over to the daggone stupid tail mannequin thing right here. These figure right here. Okay, turn this up. We already know. You already seen this. Yeah. Here for fun, and then we got the key right here. Boom. Now look at the key again. Look at this again. Sato, do you think perhaps this key could be the key for Inspector Gregson's watch? Oh, yes, it could be. Let's try it at once. There's not a moment to lose. I knew it. A perfect fit. And look, the Inspector's watch has started going again. Ah, so it's obviously just not wound up. That's all. What is it, Mr. Sato? Yeah, you don't wrap it. Yeah, I already know how to wind that thing up. We good. We got the key up for it, though. Well, if the watch isn't actually broken after all, I have a feeling it could have profound implications. She's deep in thought now. Perhaps I'd better start thinking deeply too. And indeed, it needs to be wound up. So hey, should be good. Let's go. And as predicted, it had very little bearing on this case. Now then, continue with your cross-examination, please, counsel. Okay, now I didn't know much about it afterwards, but let's see. This. Okay, let me ask about that, because how do you know it's not the fireworks, though? Because the fireworks exactly make a gunshot, don't they? Yeah, make it sound like a gunshot. So, can you tell me more about that, sir? Tell me more about that. It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon that you all heard the loud bang, wasn't it? Maybe the notice board fell over, or maybe it didn't. Maybe I fell over, or maybe I didn't. But the Reaper's fate is sealed either way because of the gunshot we all heard. So your fate is sealed too. My fate, brother? I'll whoop your tail, Beppo. That's right. The defense is fated to lose, and the prosecution to win. In other words, it all hinges on the singular gunshot, or the single gunshot. So if I could just find some problem with that part of the story, it may be possible to change all our fates. Of course, and none of that changes the fact that I heard what I heard, does it? Not much to go on. As you pointed out, Mr. Naruhodo, there's no question that the notice board was moved, so somebody must have done it. Which, that's what the girl did. The girl moved the notice board. So we know that at least. But it did happen after the event, so maybe Cosmo was right, and it's not relevant to the case. But it seems to have been deliberately positioned so as to hide the body from view. So I feel sure that there's some deeper significance to all of this. Yes, I know what you mean. I have no doubt there are some more clues to be uncovered. You're on the right track, I can feel it. So follow your instincts. Alright then. Okay. It's either, okay, so Gregson's pocket watch, because it might have something to do with the case. Or do I say, oh, fireworks? I can't tell. You know what? Let's just say Gregson's pocket watch and see how it goes. Objection. Okay, I didn't know which one it was. I was going to think that or the fireworks. I'm afraid that's not necessarily the case. Okay, let's go. Oh. At the scene, we found this key to the winder of the inspector's pocket watch. A key? And having wound the pocket watch, we discovered that it in fact still works. You see, the watch didn't stop because it was broken at all. And that fact completely undermines one of the most fundamental premises on which this entire case has been built. My bad. What? We need to cook. Order. Order! Order in the court! But counsel! The watch was stopped almost exactly at 5 o'clock! Yeah, which is just when we heard the gunshots. Girl, you have fireworks that sound like gunshots. Are we not going to talk about that? It is, exactly the hour. The time that was showing on the watch tells us nothing other than when it wound down. It's merely coincidence that it happens to be at 5 o'clock.
Objection!
Go ahead, talk to me then. Even if that's true, the 3 witnesses here all heard the gunshots at 5 o'clock. Yeah, they heard firecrackers, brother, that sound like a gunshot. So that obviously is when this crime was committed.
Objection!
No, not at all. No, that doesn't hold. Why not? Recall what Inspector Lestrade said only moments ago. The boss used to wind it up every evening without fail when he was waiting for his grub to come at the pub. Said he hadn't missed a day in the last 10 years, polishing it and winding it. It meant the world to him. That watch did, indeed. The victim was in the habit of winding his watch once in a day, in the evening. We can reasonably assume, therefore, that he would wound the timepiece on the evening before he died as well. Yes, that would be entirely reasonable. But if that's the case, you wouldn't expect the watch to have completely wound down by 5 o'clock the following day. Oh, hey! Well, how do you explain it then? In summary, the evening before the day of the incident when the gunshot rang out in that room, the inspector was already unable to wind his watch. You can't mean... What would stop a man winding his watch if he's been in the habit of winding it every single evening for 10 years? The obvious answer is that he was already dead. There you go, cook up. My boy cooking up out here. Order! Order in the court! Counsel! That's the most extraordinary claim!
Objection!
Extraordinary isn't the word, it's absurd. You claim he was already dead before the night before? Do you really... I mean, hell, my guess, my brain was not thinking. Do you really think that the Scotland Yard's coroner would have overlooked something like that? Well, I mean, it is Maria, so, I can't say much about that. But, I mean, technically Courtney Sykes kind of killed someone, so, I mean, I can't say that about that one, but I don't know how her daughter's is, though, so, that's just me. On that subject, there is something rather surprising. There's actually an omission in the coroner's report. The time of death is not noted. Indeed, that's what I was saying, because I didn't see a time of death. That's why I was looking at that thing. That's right. Wait a minute. You're forgetting that my legs went from under me when I kicked the door in. What do you mean? Like I said, I planted my hand in the dirty great puddle of blood. Yes. So the victim's blood hadn't dried. It was fresh. He catches on fast, doesn't he?
Objection!
Shush. But that blood can be explained in any number of ways. It could have been put there afterwards. Some fresh blood could have been poured over the victim's body after he... Does my learned friend think that fresh blood's available in every street corner? It might as well be. Keep that thing fresh. You could literally just keep it fresh. Just find a way, keep the blood fresh, keep it going, throw it out there, stab it or shoot it, and then go from there. I mean, just keep the body fresh and you can get some fresh blood. Just don't let it stay out in the open. Just like I said, keep that body fresh, go from there, then go good from there. Simple. Why do y'all not think that? Come on. Well, it needn't necessarily happen human blood, of course. Oh, you're talking about some, it could be some any kind of blood, like animal blood or something? We've been told previously that Scotland Yard has no way to identify blood as human. The problem is currently being researched. At present, you are correct. It's beyond our abilities. So then, a chicken's blood could have been used, for example. It certainly is a possibility that it wasn't the inspector's blood at all. Oh, I guess that works too. But the gunshot was heard at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That's beyond question. It is, though. Oh, is it, though? What? Given that the time of death of the victim had already been called into question, it isn't beyond the realms of possibility that what these witnesses heard wasn't a gunshot at all. Oh, please, what are you trying to say? Thank you for giving me the firecrackers, by the way, because that's the evidence I need. You lot know what we heard. There was a loud bang that came from that room there. Now you listen to me. A street seller's ears are his livelihood. I don't doubt your ears, sir, but all you can state with certainty is that you heard a noise. Eh? Explain yourself then, counsel. A noise that sounded like a gunshot that could have been made with is firecrackers. Come on now. Something like this. The culprit could have set off one of these to fake a gunshot. Good gracious! The fireworks that are sold by the witness? Now hold on a minute. Are you saying I did it? My pretty little firecrackers only make a little pop anyway. See? Yeah, but it sounds like an actual gunshot. Not 100 of them together. The Venus special that you sell for 600 pennies sound like this. As the court can now attest, it sounds very much like a gunshot in fact. You're trying to suggest that someone set off one of those fireworks at the scene or something? I'm suggesting that somebody knew the defendant was in the room at 5 that day. It sought to implicate him by creating a sound like a gunshot for these peddlers on Fresno Street to hear.
Objection!
But even the accused himself has testified that he saw no one else in the room at the time. Yes, he didn't see no one at the time because guess what? The room was dark. How is he gonna see a room that's dark? How's he gonna see that? Tell me how he gonna see that nonsense. Even I wouldn't be able to see that. I had to stretch my leg. My leg feels like crap. Whether it was a gun or a firecracker, the only person present to cause that bang was Barrick Van Zeeks. One whip up a match and my firecrackers go pop. See? That's why people like them. Well, let me ask you a question then, man. Let me ask you a question then. Let me ask you a little question though. Who'd you sell the firecrackers to? I just want to know who you sell your firecrackers to. Let me know everyone that you got firecrackers from you. I fear for your fingers, young lady.
Objection!
Recently, during my time here in Britain, I've learned of a very useful invention indeed. Something called a time bomb. Good heavens, a bomb? Yes, a device that allows you to blow up whatever you like, whenever you like. Ms. Naruhodo, I worry that your unfortunate phrasing there may lead to yet another international incident. No, wait, it's the whatever you like part that's important. A time device? Yes, exactly. A time device. Something of that nature could have been planted at the seed. A device that was able to produce the sound of a gunshot long after the culprit had left. Your extravagant claim will have to be substantiated with evidence, counsel. What proof do you have to suggest that in any way that a time device was employed to create a gunshot sound? Oh, do I say this? Because technically this thing has been blown to sky high.
Take that!
Can I say that? As the court has already discussed, the tip of one of the candles in the candelabrum has been blown off. We know this. Indeed, because it was struck by the bullet, which presumably passed through the victim. I don't think that's possible, my lord. Not possible? Why? Because of the scorching. There are gunpowder scorch marks clearly visible on the broken candle. There are? Goodness, yes! But is it not the case that there were also scorching on the victim around the bullet entry wound? That's right, there was. But as we heard earlier, Scorching like that only occurs when the target is at very close range, a matter of centimeters from the gun. Ah! Which means that the scorching on the candle can't possibly result in a gunshot. You're suggesting it came from the fireworks. How could that be? The fact that there's such visible scorching on the candle suggests that the fireworks must have been right next to it when it exploded. Or to put it another way, the candle and the firecrackers were joined together. The culprit somehow attached the fireworks at a point part way down the candle. If the killer had left the seed, the candle slowly burned down along with the other two, until eventually ignited a fuse of the firecrackers, turning a loud bang. That sounds like cop. I'm not gonna lie to you. It sounds kind of Mickey. And that is how the three witnesses came to believe they heard a gunshot at 5 o'clock. Well, what a plot! Plot armor! This implies that the victim could have died earlier than we were led to believe. The previous day even. Now, just hold your horses. All yous lot here saw the victim going into the building, remember? I couldn't forget that flaming colored hair even if I wanted to. The person you saw entering the building wasn't the victim at all. Consider this. Ah! Obviously, anybody could wear a wig. So the person these witnesses saw entering the building 15 minutes before the incident occurred could easily have been someone else entirely wearing that red hairpiece. Someone else? Do you mean to say... It was the same person who contrived the firecracker trick. In other words, Inspector Gregson's killer. Oh, very impressive, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Kazuma, I'm really quite amazed you've come this far. But after all, wasn't I the one who told you that you had all the makings of a great defense lawyer? I also noted the lack of time of death in this report, a stark omission. But as far as I'm concerned, this whole country's justice system leaves a lot to be desired. Order! Order! Order in the court! Prosecutor Sogi! Or Saki! What on earth do you mean by that statement? I heard that many of the leading members of Britain's judiciary are present to observe this trial today. So we cannot allow even the slightest doubt to be overlooked. He's cooking! The defense's assertion about the time of death based on the victim's stopwatch is just conjecture. But while the possibility exists that my learned friend may be correct, we have a duty to explore it. Well, certainly, I would agree with you. And what immediately comes to mind is, of course, what was Inspector Gregson doing and where did he go on the day before the incident? Do you know? The inspector always carries out his investigative work alone. His movements were treated as confidential within Scotland Yard. Even with the Yard? However, considering the evidence we've been presented with so far, I'd say it's fairly apparent what case the man was pursuing, wouldn't you, my learned friend? I do have a feeling about what case he might be investigating. Here I am. Like, dude, what am I supposed to say about that? Yes, I agree. Surely, my lord, the defense believes it can be explained to the court. the case that was being investigated by Inspector Gregson at the time of his death. Very well, counsel. Present your argument to the court. What evidence is suggestive of the case being investigated by the inspector on the day prior to the incident? Obviously, the article.
Take that!
I believe this red-haired piece points to the answer. We might assume it was part of the disguise used to carry out an undercover investigation. Surely not. Such a brightly colored hairpiece would only serve to make the inspector more noticeable. Yes, that's quite true. It would definitely have made him stand out in the crowd. Except, that is, in a crowd of gentlemen from the Red-Headed League. The Red-Headed League? So, you've already worked it out. Good job, buddy. What on earth is this about? Is there such an extraordinary league of gentlemen? The Red-Headed League is currently under investigation for grand deception. A deception of what nature, counsel? They've been targeting red-headed men all over London and tricking them out of small sums of money. 2 men were arrested for the misdemeanor only yesterday, in fact. My lord, the defense calls for those 2 men to be summoned at once. 2 red-headeds? Inspector Gregson clearly infiltrated the Red-Headed League using this hairpiece, so it's very likely that he had direct contact with these criminals. And it's quite possible that such contact led to more serious events. I concur that we cannot, in good conscience, leave this new avenue unexplored. Well done, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, it's another possible line of inquiry for us, at least. The prosecution will make immediate arrangements for the charged men to appear. Bring these 2 Red-Headed League conspirators before me, Prosecutor Sogi. At once, my lord. But I like how I gotta ha 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 ha, at once, my lord. Very good. We will have a 30-minute recess. Court is adjourned. Well, my voice with him is gonna have to be something else. Okay, to be continued. Oh my goodness, thank the heavens. I'm getting me some water. Give me a second, I'm getting me some water. Keep going. Alright, let's go. Had to give me some water. Let's go. we balling. Big ballin', friend. 2nd of November, 12:33 p.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. Oh, there you are, Odo. What kept you, my dear fellow? Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Gina. You sure about what you said in there? That the boss, actually died the day before? It's pretty hard to swallow. Unless you can prove otherwise. Yes. I was shocked by the revelation too, Gina. As was I. possibly more shocked than the both of you. It's not a competition, Mr. Sholmes. But I was more shocked than all of you put together. This is the autopsy report in question, is it? Yes, it's strange that there's no time of death noted. Suppose there's a simple explanation, or perhaps it was a deliberate omission. Oh dear, if it was deliberate, it puts me in mind of the last case we worked on, Dr. Scythe. I know. Anyway, it seems that on the day before Lord Van Zieks discovered his body, Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League, so perhaps something happened with them. Come to think of it, you had trouble with those League men too, didn't you, Mr. Sholmes? You were taken in by their trick. No. Naturally, I wasn't taken in, as you put it. My sleuth-hound interest was merely paid slightly by the rare scent of the weekly £4 income. And that scent masked the underlying scent of deception, I suppose. The two criminals in question are the pair we saw being arrested yesterday, aren't they? Mr. Sholmes' sweet. I mean... That's right, Suze. And it was me who took them in. Thanks to a tip-off by a good law-abiding citizen. Indeed, yours truly. So it's going to be that pair in the witness stand next, is it? Something doesn't quite make sense to me, though. The day before Inspector Gregson was found, you hadn't had trouble with the Red-Headed League yet, had you? Why would the inspector have been investigating them? Well, the likely explanation would be that Gregson's own sleuth-hound interest was piqued by the rare scent of the weekly £4 income. Don't tar him with the same brush as you, Sholmes. Yes, well, then there's the whole issue of Inspector Gregson being investigated by Lord Van Zieks for some reason. The Reaper, the Red-Headed League, Inspector Gregson, Lord Van Zieks, and Cosmo. It feels as though he knew we'd arrive at this point somehow. Gosh, I think you're right. What's he really trying to achieve here today? All the answers will be revealed soon, or soon be revealed. Observe the time, my dear fellow. This recess will be over very shortly. Yes, you're right. There you go. Cosmo was determined that he should be the one to prosecute this trial, and he was determined that I should take the defense. Just what is it that he's hoping to make me see, I wonder? I get the feeling we're a long way from the end of this trial yet. Are you ready then, Miss Sato? Yes. We're balling. Making sure that my phone sees everything right. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. We resume the closed court hearing of Berk Van Zieks, here present, who stands accused of murder. Now then, Prosecutor Asogi. My lord, have you summoned the witnesses as requested? Yes, the two members of the Red-Headed League who planned and carried out the deception. They arrived not long ago from the local prison by police carriage. Very good. Bailiff, usher the two men into the courtroom. Why this man eating? Hungry for nothing. These two men are currently being held by the police on suspicion of attempted extortion. You may omit your occupations, but state your names for the court. I am Fabienne de Rosé. Is that Rosé or is it like... or I don't know how to say it. Okay, this is gonna suck. Let me Y'all, let me hand this up real quick. Let me I'm sorry, I gotta find a way how to say it in a better way. Now give me a sec, I gotta say its name right. I'm gonna make sure I say his name right. Hold up, I'm trying to say how to say this name right so I don't butcher the name and will try to crash out on me. I gotta see how to pronounce it. So it's like Rosal? Let me see.
Rousseau.
Rousseau. Okay, so it's like Rousseau. Okay. I am Fabien de Rousseau. Rousseau. Oh my goodness. I said it wrong again. Okay, there we go. I am Fabien de Rousseau. I gotta say that name and I'm gonna get cooked because I had to read that thing. My name's gonna be great. Hey, look, Vortex, you're gonna be good, bro. I gotta go out there and I gotta do this whole thing. I believe in you, man. You're gonna be good. Hey, it's better than that gonna be ballless phenom. Hey, you look, you ain't gotta do that garbage. That thing gonna be terrible. Well, that thing would have been terrible for you. A descendant of the great de Rousseau family from Nice in France. And my name is Pepino de Rosé. But on that, well, he's a guy. I said it the first time. I thought it was a girl, but it's a guy. It's a guy. But yeah, I said the same thing. I don't know why they're able to eat. I think that's the only person that gets to actually wait. No, there's two people that actually ate in this courtroom. A girl that was a jury member was eating nothing but corn the entire time. This dude's out there eating spaghetti. Okay, then the guy, where's his plate go? I don't know. He probably just shoved it in where the sun don't shine. I don't know at this point. It ain't like he tells me nothing. I am the third son of the great Familia de Rossi, the landowner from Napoli. The two men first became acquainted at a boarding school from European nobility. Those who graduate from Temesc are the future leaders of Europe. But do you have any idea how boring it is to be born with the noble blood? Alas, I make it my mission to get the better of the world by employing the little gray cells of my brain. That is all I'm trying to do. So, that's the only reason for this whole grand deception you've been carrying out? You just told people, hey, yeah, look, wear this red hair thing. Wear this. We'll give you some 4 pits, right? You said 4 pits, right? If I'm not mistaken, you said 4 pits, right? 4 pounds per week. My apologies. 4 pounds a week if you're redheaded. And you didn't just capped. And didn't even give them their money. Terrible. You could say that. Not bad, eh? He has the great ideals, but the petty plans. The strange combination is the charm of the Hilarious brothers. I figured it was French and Italian when I heard them talk in their names. Like when I heard Rosu and then I heard this man talking to eat spaghetti, I knew that other dude was Italian, like. But yeah, thank you though. How you doing though? Si capo? Listen to me, Peppino. I have 2 things to say to you. Ichi? Are you going to tell me about one of your granny anecdotes? Eviva! Firstly, I want you to stop calling me this capo. And secondly, we are not the Hilarious brothers. This is serious business. Chapello, there it is! The capo's trump card, the furrowed brow! It is deep, Capo, the furrow in the meaning of your words. The court has been led to believe that under the banner of the Red-Headed League, you have conspired to swindle money from unsuspecting members of the public. Is it true? Or is this true? We, Ziska. And what exactly was the nature of this deception by which you planned to defraud? Helloas, I will explain it. No, Capo. Leave it to me. As you see, we both have the vivid red hair, no? At school, we were teased for this without pity. The Capo here, he was many times behind the schoolhouse, crying like the Trevi fountain. Where's those dogs? One day the world will respect us redheads. Every night we would bury his head in the pillow and "This bien, Pepino, enough. I will explain the rest before I kill you in the courtroom." The first step was the newspaper advertisement. About 1 week before the plan was put into operation, we listed the same notice in every paper in London. At this point, you could say that, and I feel like they wouldn't say nothing about that. Yes, we saw the notice. Or that notice, to be fair, but it was this one, I believe, entitled to the Red-Headed League. We, Ziska, I am honored that you have seen it. It's not like I wanted to see it. It's like literally this man Sherlock Holmes was like, nah, bro, I need the money. He wanted the money. I mean, who else wanted the money? I think everyone about wanted the money at this point. At this point, daggone thing. And this dude just got too much of a big lip out here. He be yapping too much. Wait, what the? What the? Yeah, I know what it means. I can't get it. Okay, wait, why do you and why do y'all two got red necks? Why y'all got that little thing on y'all thing? Like, dang, bro, someone choking y'all out, someone put y'all with a rope or something? Dang! I know we're not tripping, but dang! Why y'all got that on y'all necks? Okay, it states that the only why am I thinking about contradictions? Because I've had to say nothing but contradictions. It states that the only condition for joining the league is having flame-colored hair. Might just be hair? Bro. Hair. Well, him? That is not hair. That is not hair. If he got hair in his neck that's red, I'm sorry. This guy gotta go. Now, if it's this guy right here, sure, I'll let him have a slide on it. I'll let him have a slight little side to it. But him? No, I'm sorry. That is an infinite no. That is not, he's not getting away with that. But I'll let him get away with that. I'll let him get away with that. I'll let him get away with that. But yeah, him, nah, I can't let that get away with that. That's crazy. No, I'm being honest. I'm being honest. I can't let him get away with that. That's kind of crazy. And that if you satisfy the interview panel and are admitted to the league, you could receive a weekly income of £4. On the date specified, red-headed hopefuls gathered in droves at the park specified in the advertisement. That is true. And from each person present, this pair took an application of 5 shillings. Indeed they did. And with the money to France, it was a plan most elegant, non? No, it was most dishonorable. Was it the lip thing I said? Like, what are we talking about? What are we doing here, bro? What are we doing? If you're talking lip thing, I'm sorry, but it's facts. You're talking about the lip thing, bro. Like, look at that. That thing is too big, bro. No one else got a lip like that. I'm just giving it a buck, bro. And another thing, we really shouldn't even have Evie out here, but thanks, look fine. There you go. I had to do that real quick for the culture. But no, it was most dishonorable. But to be frank, I'm stunned anybody was foolish enough to be taken in by such an obvious trick. Okay, wait till what Paul stood for. Wait till what Paul stood for. Wait a second. Well, I mean, okay, to answer your question, Cosma, this literal great famous great detective said, "I need my head red." Gina was thinking about it, but she's like a 10-year-old girl. She can get away with that, but she wasn't even doing it anyway. And I think that's the only one I know. And Tobias Gregson was doing it just to figure out what's going on there. Everyone else are fine. The park was described by one witness as choked with red-headed folks, like a coster's orange barrow. And the day of which all these men gathered to apply was the day before the victim was discovered. Crucially, these two men spoke face to face with each other, or every single person present that day. Well, I mean, they were talking to each other too, though. But like, I'm just shut up. I'm just yapping things out. I have seen more red-headed people in one day than I will see in the rest of my life. See. And now, every time I see the capo's hair, I feel sick to my stomach. Anyway, why have we been summoned here today? Sorry? The date for our trial was not until tomorrow, I was told. Naturally, neither of these men have been told any details about this trial. They've only been shown this photograph. Very good. So, Mr. De Rosu and Mr. De Rosé. Oh my, I was trying to say Rosie, but I was thinking about Rose. I'm thinking about too much about Dragon Ball. I'm gonna shut up though. I keep thinking about Dragon Ball. I keep thinking about contradictions. I'm thinking about getting cooked up. Like, what am I supposed to do here? You will now give your formal testimony for the court on the subject of the gentleman pictured in this photograph. Of course, we're always ready to help with the law. Stop the cap, bro. You live in cap every day. You almost call cap worse than Venus. And she caps about everything. Like, literally, she caps so much, even the guy just says, tell me the answer, and she just tells the answer afterwards. That's already a problem. And that's saying a lot. And can this boy stop eating? Like, dang, bro, you eat too much daggone spaghetti, brother. The man in the photograph. Let's go. We had more than 1,000 red-headed people assembled in the park on Lime Street that day. But I don't recall the man in this photograph. Eh, Capo? None. I don't remember him. Obviously, he is dead now, but I assure you, he was not in that park. Well, we're gonna have to press that then, buddy. Alora, this victim has nothing to do with us. You have a lot to answer for, Pepperino. It is your fault that we got caught in the first place. You've given sworn testimony that this man in the photograph was not present. Can you be certain? Oi, oui. I am quite certain. We did not interview this man. Nobody looking like this came to the park. This I can promise. It must be noted that you have been arrested for a grand deception. However, accordingly, this court has little confidence in your assurances. That's not a skill show on your end, buddy. Oofa, with this attitude, we get nowhere, huh? He's really a sulker now. This confidential document was obtained directly from Scotland Yard. It records an entry from the inspector's private diary dated the day before the incident. It reads, Lime Street, Red-Headed League, undercover. Ah, I have the answer. Maybe there was another similar event in the park on the day in question, eh? That is ridiculous. There's no question that Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League, which means it's quite possible that when he was killed... Very well. The defense may proceed with the cross-examination now. Ah, yes, my lord. Man, I'm gonna get my water out here. Let me see. Is anyone outside before I do it? Get the water. cleaning the photograph. Alright, we're balling. I had to make sure my dad was good. Okay. He talks about that. We don't want to worry about that. Second one I won't think about. Third one, excuse me. Third one I want to press though. So let's talk about that one. But according to what you, my goodness, why do I have to burp? I didn't have to burp for that. Anyway, let me reread it again. But according to what you said, you spoke with 1,000 or more people that day. Oh, oui, that's true. My eyes were burning by the end of the day. Surely then you can't actually remember every single face. How are you so certain though? Let me ask you, let me talk to you about that. Let me talk to you. That this particular man wasn't present. Normally the redheaded hair is very distinctive, eh? But not when you have 1,000 redheads crowding around. This is an eyesore. But if there was someone with other information you could give us, maybe they could recall. That is not the line, Peppino. Remember, we do not remember him. We are sure of that factor. If there was a man with a red earpiece, but his mustache did not match the color, then I do not think I could have forgotten him. Cosmo said that these two had only been shown that photograph. They've been told nothing else at all. But what if I fed them just one other detail about the victim, for example? Maybe his profession, because I don't think they're going to know about his fish and chips if he's trying to be in character. I can certainly appreciate that. Just knowing the man had red hair wouldn't help you remember in this situation. But what if I told you that the man in the red hairpiece was actually a detective? The man in the photograph? A detective? Yes. It would appear he found your notice in the paper suspicious and decided to investigate incognito. Sorry, but this changes nothing.
Excuse me.
I'm talking to you. Something to add, Mr. De Rose? Or Rosie, I'm sorry. I keep saying Rose and it's going to mess me up, but Rossi, my apologies. So yeah, I'm going to say that a lot though. Chassis, I'm always adding something. Parmesan, olive oil, pepper? What I mean is, did you not agree with your friend's last remark by any chance? What did he just say? About the detective? Yes, that. Keep your mouth shut, Peppino. You have already said enough. Well, I've said enough already. But why, Capo? What is the problem? There was a man who said, I'm an inspector from Scotland Yard. What? Good Lord! Order! Order! Order in the court! Explain this volte-face in your testimony, witness. It's simple. A man was at a park, said to us that there was no such man. My dear, what are you stopping, Capo? Have you already forgotten, eh? I've forgotten nothing. Nobody like this came to the park. Basta, Capo, basta. You beat me at many things, but not two. The memory and the meals. Like I said, when it's time to eat a pasta, no one is a faster. But you are inferior to me in every other way, so shut up.
Objection.
They both just hit that thing out like, what the heck are you doing? Ugh. Trop-tard. The damage is done. Indeed it is, sir. Oi, oi. There was a man who came to the park and he said he was an inspector from Scotland Yard. However, he looked nothing like the man in the photograph. He was someone else. How can you be so sure? Because, to start with, his face was completely different. See, it's true. The man who came was a younger. Okay. How old is this man? This man's 45? Let's see. He's younger. Okay. Okay, unless we talk about another person. Okay. His face was clean shaven. His eyes were sadder. His chin was thinner. So clean shaved. So they were saying that he would have that mustache shaved off and probably beard up. Okay. Nah, he got that beard though. So you come up something like this. So you're talking about like Barry Van Zeke's? Maybe like or maybe it's could be Daily. If he was supposedly a detective or finding something. But go ahead. Okay, go ahead. No resemblance whatsoever then. Anyway, I was not going to be fooled. I took the obvious precautions and said to him, if you are really a detective, show us the proof. See, the capo here. He's taking no nonsense, eh? But he was well prepared. He said he had identification. Identification? You mean official police inspector's identification? That is most unconvincing. Sorry, my lord? Counsel, no incognito inspector would offer his identification for inspection. It's quite out of the question. Wait a minute. I think I know what happened. Let me say my opinion, because if what he's saying is true, if what the judge says is true, what could have happened is 2-3 things could happen. One, the inspector was like, this guy right here was like, hey. He was talking to someone, maybe someone put him in, then maybe somebody went out there, grabbed the ID and said, look, I am an inspector. Show us your proof. Here's my name and all the other stuff. Showed him everything about that he needed to know. He went out there, he did that. He was like, alright, bet. Alright, and we're good. And the only person I think that could have done that, that's obvious without it being Barry Van Zeke's, is probably Daly. He's probably the only one that could have done it. Because look, his face is clean shaven. He has a sad, depressing look on his daggone face. I mean, he does too, but like, he said younger, and this guy is younger. So on and so forth. So it has no choice but to be him if it's anybody else. Or unless it's gossip. But I don't know how old this man is. They didn't say how old he was. So I wouldn't know. But another thing is just being that the guy just took it and killed him and just ran away with it. And try to make something work with it. But I don't know. I would know. So let's just keep it going though. Definitely. Why would he expose his true identity? Yeah, that doesn't make sense though. For Gregson to do that. Clearly the papers were fake. Certo, Capo, you are a genius. As we say in Italia, it takes a thief to recognize another, eh? What happened after he announced that he was a detective? He became really annoying. He said, "You are under investigation." So I took his papers from him and chased them out of the park. It was fantastico! And look, here's the identification. So you stole it from the man. He had it coming. He made us very scared. But he was not who he said he was. Indeed, the person described does not appear to have behaved as the true inspector would. Agreed. So yeah, it had to be someone else. However, I believe it would be prudent for this identification papers to be entered into evidence. But I like them. Now then, let us return to the witness's testimony. Let me see it. Well, I suppose we should see what's inside the inspector's identification looks like inside. Let's look at it. Yes, it definitely looks fake, doesn't it? Out of interest, what name is given? Probably just something plucked out of the air. It's the bias Gregson. Wait, what? This Scotland Yard insignia looks genuine to me. But how? The department and identification numbers details are all incorrect as well. Since when have you known those? Do you mean to say... I know it seems incredible, but yes. I think it is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. But that's unbelievable. This is the real thing after all? So, maybe I'm right. Maybe Daly took it? Or Gossip took it? I don't know who it is. Daly or Gossip took it? If I know the man's age, I could do something with it. I don't know why it feels weird to me. No.
Objection.
It definitely does. I wonder if I could ask you to examine this identification book very closely. I want you to look at that thing. Look at that thing completely. Hold up. Let's stretch my arm. The arm's feeling crap. Miss Lestrade. Why Miss Lestrade? What is your intention here, Counsel? Is this really fake or genuine? That's the question, which we can't answer for ourselves.
Objection.
Don't be ridiculous. No Scotland Yard detective would allow his or her identification to be stolen. Hey Cosma, how do you know? That is the boss's. No question about it. It can't be. As I suspected. The undercover detective who attended the Red-Headed League enrollment on the day in question was the real Inspector Gregson, carrying out an incognito investigation to set the laws. Order! Order in the court! But if the boss had his identification stolen, he would have reported it straight away. Yeah, seriously, what? See, yeah, that's dumb. Yeah, I think he got took it. I mean, he was always on me about it. If you lose some at. Are you trying to say something? Oh my, dude, you're gonna confuse me. Report out, what's he say? Could it be then that the inspector was physically unable to report it? Physically? Hey, what are you saying? Unable to? You're not suggesting. Yes, it's quite possible that he was killed before he had any chance to report his identification stolen. No. Order! Order! Order in the court! The defense posits that the victim was killed the day before his body was discovered at a different location. Do you two have anything to say about that? Way! I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. Way! Pull yourself together, Peppino. Mon Dieu, you can behave a little more like a master criminal than that, non? Way! I wish I returned to Italia. Way! Just stop crying, Peppino, please. Otherwise, I Lemmy! Stop your whining and start talking! Well, I believe that the court will need to hear your story and considerably great. I know nothing. Well, I done nothing. But you will tell everything, or face the worst possible outcome. You will draw your eyes and testify again about these identification papers, the precise circumstances under which you came by them. Can you just smack him? For crying out loud. This man is whining and yapping. Like, why y'all yapping? Detective and identification. The truth is, we took him prisoner and kept him for the night at our secret hideout. Even though I didn't think he was a real detective, I was too scared to let him go that day, just in case. We took the man's identification from him and shut him in the room next to ours. There might have been a little tussle, but we did not mean him no harm. And the next morning we let him go. He spent the night in a nice room. It was nothing like a prison, really. Well, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, you know some nonsense. This is outrageous! You in prison, man? No! It was nothing like a prison. We just had a very comfortable and calm and happy. Eh, capo? It was never part of my plan. I swear it. So you think it was my fault, eh? Just because I got the date of the ferry wrong by one a little a day? I did not think it was your fault, Pepito. I know it. No. Her favor, Capo. It's not affair. You should have plenty of time before squabbling back at the prison, gentlemen. Ugh, I don't believe this. How could he have been a real detective? Counsel for the defense, proceed with the cross-examination. So on the day before the incident, Gregson spent the night confined in this pair's hideout. Okay, one. Okay. Okay, you said there's a little tussle. Tell me a little more about that tussle, though. So a little more about that tussle. What do you mean by a little tussle, exactly? Yeah, let me know about that. Well, it was nothing. It's a minor incident. The Fossil Inspector, he was a real piece of work. Hey, Capo? What happened? Ufa, it was a disaster. We gave him a nice room, and what does he do, In the middle of the night, he tries to escape through the ventilator. I would too! Bro, y'all are criminals! Y'all made him a victim! Can you blame him? We chased him, Bidja. We called him again. Can you blame us? Wait, you didn't shoot the man in your haste, did you? What do you think we are? Of course not. I simply called hold of him again. I took him back to their room. Dude, are you good, bro? You be out there eating a whole bunch of spaghetti. That spaghetti get to your stomach too much. Mr. De Rossi, is something wrong? Hey? Me? Something Mr. De Rose? Or Mr. Rosu? Seemed to make you, well, it seemed to make you act even more strangely than usual. What was all that about? Cavalo, at times like this, you don't want to have the capo after you, believe me. I speak from a personal experienza. Personal experience? That is enough, Peppino. There's no need to say any more. The truth is, the night before we put the red-headed leak plan in action, I was scared. It was not fair to the capo, but I tried to run away. A shame you didn't manage it. But the capo here, he came after me like the turbine, and he dragged me at the house, kicking and screaming. I still have the bruises to prove it. Hey, Capo? Yeah, you have it on your neck. Bruises? You say? You want to see? My fantastical bruises? That's enough now, Peppino. No one wants to look at any part of you. What to do? I show you or I don't. I show you or I don't. You do now. Well, alright, if everyone wants to see, then I do it. Echo, you see? It's still very visible, eh? Well, Vortex, yeah, no, that's a bruise. That's a bruise. And, so, nope, he got gossip. So, oh, crap. So it is gossip that he grabbed. Cause if Rosu did that to you, he did that to gossip. So yeah, gossip, you must have stole the ID papers. And now we got a case. We got a case solved now. That red ring around your neck. You got that when you were dragged back to the house? See, the capo, sometimes he's very rough, and I said that's enough. Peppino's neck has nothing to do with what we're talking about here. You have my word. I know who did it though. Yeah, gossip, yeah, that guy right there, yeah. You did the exact same thing to his neck. Like, just show his face.
Yes. What is your opinion, Council?
About the red ring, I wonder, does it matter? Obviously, that junk is important. So let's go ahead and say, it's important. Mr. De Rossi, I'm going to have to ask you. Submit your testimony with the details about the marks on your neck. Hey, Capo, you see? Everyone is interested in what I have to say, huh? Ugh. Very well. You will amend your testimony as requested, Mr. De Rossi. CC, if you really want to know. He tried to escape, but the capo put a collar on him and dragged him back. Like what he did to me, see? Question is, let me ask. Does, actually, hold up. Does this man got something on his neck? It don't look like he got like a bruise on his neck. So, do I present this? Cause I don't see him have a visible thing on his neck that I know of. It's not like I can see it in the first place, but he don't have nothing like on the back of his neck or nothing. So, not gonna lie to you. Or I could have been like, oh yeah, this guy has a neck thing, but I think this is probably the piece they want us to present. So,
Objection.
yeah, because the guy don't have a thing on his neck. So the day before his body was discovered, Inspector Gregson was taken prisoner while working incognito. No, it was not like that. It was hardly a prison. It was an invitation to stay. It was only. However you describe it, there's one glaring inconsistency that remains. What inconsistency is this, Counsel? I would ask the court to look closely at this photograph of the victim, Inspector Gregson. You will see there is no red ring visible around his neck. But that makes no sense. It was me who took the collar off the man in the morning. And I saw the red bruise on his neck just like I have. Well, maybe it's not actually the inspector, maybe it's gossip. Given that the mark is still clearly visible on this witness's neck, we expect to see bruising on the victim, who was put in the collar more recently than Mr. De Rossi. Indeed, that is most peculiar. But what we tell you, we say this from the beginning many times. Peppino is right. Submitted the photograph He is somewhat different to the men we held captives that night. Okay, we have to agree with that. Okay, good. Order! Order! Order in the court! It would appear then that on the day before the incident, the man who visited the park on Lime Street posing as the incognito inspector was not Inspector Gregson at all. If that's true, however, how do we explain the inspector's identification? This is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. It's inconceivable that someone could have stolen such an important item from the inspector. The prosecution made that assertion itself. And we also know that the inspector had made a note about the Red-Headed League in his diary for that day. Which surely means we can't divorce the two events completely. The inconsistency noted about the defense is most troubling. If it were a real Inspector Gregson who these two red-headed gentlemen encountered, the fact that no bruising can be seen around his neck defies explanation. But equally, if they actually encountered an imposter, how did the person came to be in possession of the real inspector's identification? Does the defense have some plausible explanation, counsel? I think we have an imposter. And it can be gossip. The whole thing defies explanation. It is for precisely these occasions that we keep meticulous notes in the court record, Mr. Naruhodo. Because those are facts, and the facts can't not lie. No, the facts can't lie. Even when they point to something incredible, or so incredible, it's almost unbelievable. Well, my lord, the true identity of the person who turned up in the park for the Red-Headed League enrollment is revealed by the information in the court record, I believe. Good gracious! Very tantalizing, Mr. Naruhodo. So why don't you help us all see to whatever truth it is that you apparently see? Who exactly was the inspector that appeared before Mr. de Rose, or de Rousseau, and Mr. de Rossi? An imposter. Though it seems incredible, I admit the undeniable facts point to one thing. Since no bruising can be seen on the victim's neck, the person who these two red-headed men took prisoner that day cannot have been Inspector Gregson. In other words, your whole argument up to now has been a waste of time.
Objection!
Shush. On the contrary, I haven't finished. What? There's no bruising on the victim's neck, so the question immediately posed next is, who exactly was this man in the park of Lime Street found to be carrying Inspector Gregson's identification? And hey Rico, how you doing, man? How you doing? See, that's right. We tell the same story every time. Whoever this man was, the capo dragged him from a pillar to a post with a dog collar. Mon Dieu, Pepino! I was not so harsh as you say, So who was that fossil inspector, eh? Who was he? I'll try, bro. Having another horrible man. Hopefully it feels better, man. What's going on, though? Clearly, the defense has an idea about that. About the true identity of the men these two imprisoned that night. I must ask the counsel for the defense to elaborate post-haste. Who did the witnesses encounter in the park posing as Inspector Gregson? Duh, gossip, duh. Get him out. Get him. Goodness me. Is it that? One of the witnesses who was in the stand in this very courtroom earlier today. A nameless man whose only occupation appears to have been peddling hearsay to passerbys.
Objection!
What on earth would a street seller be doing with the police inspector's identification papers? Think about it, bro. That man got a whole mark on this man's neck. This man got a whole mark on his neck. Only two people have that. Gossip and you. So you gotta cook on that aspect. He says, sorry, I woke up One of my sisters. Oh my god. Oh, okay. OnlyFans page. It later. And again, but this time everyone knows I saw it too. Hey man, I'll pray for you, bro. I'll pray for you, bro. I'm sorry about that, bro. I'm sorry about that, dog. I'm sorry about that. I know it sucks, but I'm sorry to hear that, bro. I'm sorry to hear that. That makes me a big profile of me and my some information. It picks up the line on my phone. Upload about it. I'm not gonna lie. That you technically can get that money on the X though. That money, if the X doing all that, you can get your money back for that one. You can get us something though, get the money back for that nonsense. I get the police on that account. I get the police on back on that account. I would. Got to doing all that nonsense. I can prove with something, but I know. Oh no, wait, crap. Okay, you can't prove it. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, technically, if you're the only one that's with it, I mean, hey, you got that. Well, it's not. You don't. Okay, you don't have substantial proof. I guess that's fair. You don't have substantial proof. But if he's the only one that you know that did it, hey, that is, something. Witnesses. Is this the man or not? What has happened to his lip? Ah, so yeah, bro, but get answered it. I'm sorry. There we go. Hopefully you get better. Remember that. See, this a man. It's not for the red-headed league, eh? He's looking for the twisted lip league, Perhaps rather not than make it such a rash claim next time, you should bite your lip instead. It seems improbable, yes, but what of the undeniable facts remain? During his testimony earlier, I noticed something around the man's neck. A red ring of bruising. Eh? What? Congratulations. Defense that Mr. Gossip be brought back to the stand. Order! Order in the court! Bailiff! Bring the aforementioned witness back to the courtroom. Immediately! Indeed. Well, I never! An undeniable ring of bruising indeed! And identical to the witness beside him! Now what's going on here, eh? I've always had this. Me, it's my birthmark, isn't it? A birthmark, you say? I assume the reason you've been recalled to the stand has been explained to you. Hey, some about an inspector again. But I'm telling you, you got it all wrong as usual. You're denying all knowledge of it? Well, of course I am. Well, you lose this case, you go into jail, so, I mean, you might as well just be honest. Are you trying to kill me with all this nonsense, eh? Well, at least you'll have more stories to peddle back in Fresno Street, won't you? Now, we're going to need you to testify again. And you, Mr. De Rosu and Mr. De Rossi. I'm sure you'll cooperate, won't you? Do we have any choice? We're in a big of trouble, eh, Capo? That's quite enough dilatory chatter. Proceed with the testimony. Okay, talk about it then. Despite their identification revisited, the man who claimed to be inspectors that day was definitely not this man. It's right, see? You'd think we would have forgotten these grand lips, huh? I'd never leave Fresno Street, alright? I have no interest in any red-headed league. I'm all alone in the world. Me? I have no kinfolks or nothing. Why would I be involved in something like that? Just look at me, eh? Does it look like I could carry off a disguise with a face like this? Yeah, I want to know how that. Your lip kind of big, is kind of crazy though. It would certainly appear that we have the wrong man. What have I been telling you, huh? There was no need for this pointless testimony. That's right. I'm just a simple peddler, remember? Fresno Street is all I know. How would I buy a police inspector's identification book, eh? Well, yes. That's hard to explain, but... A brief cross-examination, I think, Counsel. Very brief. Is there anyone else in the court who thinks I might be onto something? I stand steadfastly at your side as always, Mr. Naruhodo. Okay. Okay, let me ask you about that. You say you not have no interest in it. Let me talk to you about that. So, you have heard of the Red-Headed League, had you? You don't get a name like Gossip for nothing, eh? It's our business to know what's going off in the town. I sold that tasty tidbit to a fair few redheads that came past me. Just between us, I even got Sandwich to cough up for it. Well, he does have a very runny nose. A red nose, if that counts. Oh my god. Who knows? But as you can see, my own hairs, I got a hint of red on in it. Dude, you can literally go out there and show this red hair piece and have it on. Why wouldn't you do that? You literally could do that. Like, come on now. And in any case, Fresno Street's my patch. Don't catch me sidling off to some other part of the town. No, sir, not likely.
Excuse me.
Let me talk to you then, sir. Mr. De Rosu. Oui? Could I help you? Did Mr. Gossip's words just now lead you to remember something relevant, perhaps? It was the other day when I was looking for a place near the park. A small house or something. To be the headquarters of your Red-Headed League, yes? I visited an housing agent on Lime Street and there I saw him. This man was paying money to the agent. What? Mr. Gossip was a housing agent? That man poor as heck. What do you mean? Boy, he had some kind of contract in his, and they were clearly discussing terms. But no, you're mistaken, chum. I've never left Fresno Street me, like I said before. You're mistaken me was for someone else. Someone with the same face. No, the capo's right. I remember it too. He was paying the man with the banknotes. With notes. Well, like I said, that wasn't me. I was curious why this man with dirty clothes had so much money. So I looked at the name of the papers. And what name was written? Mr. Gossip? No, this man, he lies. He tells you that he has no name. But in fact, his name is Hugh Bone. It's better than Mr. Gossip, I think, see? No! I'm a peddler of tidbits of information, like I said, on Fresno Street, and that's that. I don't much like folks talk about my personal life. Indeed. It is not the intention of the court to invade the privacy of the witnesses. Very well, I shall respect your wishes, sir. The aforementioned name shall be redacted for all the court records of this trial, assuming no objections. No! I'm sorry, my lord, but the defense does object. Because the name just mentioned has a very deep significance to this case. Good gracious! Do you seriously object, Prosecutor Asogi? As it happens, my lord, that particular name has already been mentioned during today's proceedings. Well, I never! In what capacity? Hugh Bone, the name of the leaseholder of the room. Let me put this very simply. The victim's body was discovered, in your rented room. I suggest, sir, that you start talking. Well, alright. Suppose that might be the case, eh? So your real name is Hugh Bone. Well, just between us, I don't like to blow me own trumpet, but there's no finer peddler of tippets in town. So hey, I happen to be able to afford a grubby little room in a falling down backstreets townhouse. You do? And once every 6 months, I go and pay the rent to the agent on Lime Street. Hey, I remember now. There was 2 vulgar redheads in there last time. Hey, if either of us is vulgar, it's not a me. Think again, Peppino. Why didn't you bring this up before? It's like I told you already. I don't like talking about my personal life. I'm a tidbits peddler as far as everyone else is concerned. No fuss. You will update your testimony to include this most surprising revelation, Mr. Boone. If I must. So the leaseholder Scotland Yard has been looking for since the body was discovered has been here under our noses all along. Can I ask you why you have this photograph of Miss Evie Vigil here? I mean, she looks very lovely, but like, why do you have that photo there? If you had no kinfolks, as you put it, to explain why is that among the sparse furnishings, we found this photograph in the room. Ah! I presume, as it's been written in the room, that this photograph belongs to you, does it not? Oh, well...
Mr. Boone, drop the pretense and tell the court exactly who you really are. Alright, hold on, wait, that beat kinda thicker though. It's kinda thicker though. Gotta let that beat hit though. I don't know what you mean. I'm a peddler. I keep telling you so far. You really don't need to bother with me. Please, just leave it alone.
I can't do that, sir. As the man says, leave it alone. Whatever the truth is about this man's life, it has no bearing in this case. Yes, it is. Because it simply is not possible that he impersonated Inspector Gregson. Shush it. How can you be so sure? Just look at the man. No amount of disguise could ever hide those unmissable features. Shush it. But what if we were to look at this the other way around? What do you mean? Yes, counsel. What do you mean? Well, there's no denying that Mr. Boone's lips is very prominent indeed. But consider the possibility that his prominent lips is itself part of an elaborate disguise. Then hiding that prominent feature, in other words, revealing his true face, would make it utterly impenetrable disguise. Would you agree, Mr. Hugh Bone? Let me talk to you then. But witness, are you still hiding the truth from this court? If that's a disguise, then underneath it has his true identity must be. Yes, that's right. There's really only one person he could really be. My lord, the defense believes it can reveal Mr. Boone's true identity to the court. No, please, no. Very well then, counsel. What is the true identity of this peddler who goes simply by the name Gossip on the street? The husband.
Take that!
Hey. that we got up though. Your real name is actually Mr. Vigil, isn't it? Mr. Daily Vigil. Yeah. I don't recall that name, Counsel. Who is this Mr. Vigil? It's a name I encountered yesterday, my lord. It has something to do with a certain client of Mr. Herlock Sholmes. The young gentlewoman came to the detective asking him to locate her missing husband. The woman in the photograph, in fact, this is Mrs. Vigil. What? From what I understand, you haven't returned home since the night before the inspector was found dead. Yeah? But of course, on that night, you were being held captive by the two red-headed league men. And last night, you were put up by the prosecution service in preparation for testifying in this trial. Because we been led to believe that you, Miss Venus, and Mr. Sandwich were all homeless. Being important witnesses in this case, we needed to know where we could find you, of course. That explains why you have that. And that explains why you've not only been unable to return home, but also unable to contact your wife. She's been beside herself with worry, waiting for you at the Vigil residence. Now just hold on a minute. I don't have the first idea what I'm talking about. Really? It's a simple enough matter to confirm my suspicion. Hey Kayla, how you doing? All we have to do is pull off that disguise. No, please. Bailiff, bring soap, a sponge, and a wash bowl at once. Mr. de Rousseau and Mr. de Rossi, you will restrain the witness. Oi, my lord. See, my lord. Wow! No, stop! Get off, please! Don't! Yeah, he gotta get cooked. Dang. Congratulations. We got you. I got him. Well, we are now seeing your true features, I presume. Bro, you got your... Wait, hold on. Now, that man got his clothes off real quick. He said, I'm doing it for the culture. That man got his clothes on back quick. He said, nah, bro. I'm worried about old features back. Lift your head, sir, so the court can see your face. It would appear that the defense counsel's assertions was entirely correct. This has been all a very elaborate deception. So witnesses, tell the court, have you seen this man before? I don't believe it, but... See, there's no question. This is the inspector we saw at the park. Extraordinary! On the day of the Red-Headed League enrollment, the man claiming to be Inspector Gregson, who appeared before Mr. de Rousseau and Mr. de Rossi in the park, was you disguised as the inspector, or rather, was you posing as the inspector in no disguise at all. Mr. Vigil was formerly employed as the chief warder at the Barclay prison. The chief warder? Then your career had promise. Why, you would quite possibly have been the future governor of this prison. What on earth have you been doing peddling tittle-tattle on Fresno Street? Well, it's been 10 years since Mr. Vigil worked at the prison. 10 years. Congratulations. You know what it is? I'm really dreadfully sorry about all this. Yes, it's true. I'm Daily Vigil. And you were the chief warder at Barclay Prison 10 years ago? So where did Mr. Hugh Bone come from? Bone is the other me. It's a name I invented. Well, evidently there's a great deal of under the surface here. I'll explain everything. I'll tell you just how wretched my life has become. As you say, it was 10 years ago now that my employment at the Barclay Chief Warder came to an end. Having left the prison service, I searched for a new occupation by which to earn a wage. But times were hard in London. I found no suitable engagements at all. In desperation one day, I turned my hand at selling wares on Fresno Street. Your wife appears to know nothing of this. She still maintains that you are a chief warder at the Barclay prison. I was utterly determined that my wife should not know of my failings, which is why I never told her. I opened an account at the bank under the name Hugh Bone, and I rented the cheapest room I could find on Fresno Street. The scene of the very crime we're investigating. Yes, that's right. A place from which I could emerge every morning at 8 as a squalid peddler, and transform myself back every evening at 5 into a well-dressed man about town before returning home. That quickly became my daily routine. But I understand, I can understand why he did that though. I was puzzled by the lack of furniture in the room. But that explains it. But why on earth did you just tell us in the first place? I guess you could say he was the man with the lip. Indeed he was. Figuratively and literally. I have a wife, sir, and 2 sons. And without wishing to sound self-conceited, they regard me with some pride. I couldn't bring myself to disappoint them. So instead, you decided to conceal your occupation from them. Yes. I made such a terrible mess of everything. Still, one thing doesn't add up. No matter how many tidbits of information you could sell to passing gentlemen, even at 6 pence apiece, you couldn't hope to match the salary you must have commanded as chief warder at the prison. Very true. To have kept your family in comfort despite 10 years of somewhat misbegotten employment. That was all thanks to Inspector Gregson. What? Inspector Gregson? What on earth? It was some years after I invented Boone and begun my other life as a street seller. The inspector, that is, recognized me one day. Do you mean to say the victim was acquainted? Was an acquaintance of yours? I knew him from my time working at the prison. Did you did? When he saw what I'd become, he was deeply troubled for me and my family. And from that day forward, he visited me on Fresno Street with increasing regality. The regality is very Japanese. Then one day, he asked me if I would carry out a secret assignment for him. A secret? What was it? That was to impersonate the inspector. What? Impersonate him? Yeah, that sounds kind of dumb crazy. We always met in that little room so the inspector could brief me. Visit Chronicles tomorrow and take a statement from that proprietress. It was always something along those lines. Surveillance work, interviewing people. On those occasions, he would lend me his identification so people would believe who I was. My instructions were to make an impression, to let people know that I'm Inspector Gregson had been at work. And for those services, he compensated me financially. The Scotland Yard's inspector willingly relinquished his identification into your care with intent to deceive.
That, as I am sure I need not to point out, is a very serious criminal offense. But why? What was the point of you impersonating him? I truthfully do not know. All I can say is that the inspector warned me on numerous occasions. Now remember, Vigil, I need your solemn word. You don't blab about this to anyone, alright? Ever. Even if, well, if I end up a croaker. In time, he started to bring papers with him to the room as well. It became something of a second office for him. So, in fact, the person who declared himself to be the Inspector Greggs at the park on Lime Street was really... Yes, it was me. I acted on the inspector's orders. As usual, I removed my boon disguise. And then went as instructed to the park, armed with the inspector's identification books. It never occurred to me that the bruise on my neck might give me away. Sadly, it did. Because one man had a bruise just like that. Technically, that's not even your fault. Maybe if you didn't even get that little bruise on your neck, you probably would have been a scot-free man. You probably would have been scot-free. I'm not gonna hold you. Hey, you would have been scot-free. I'm not gonna hold you. Well, it would seem that this confession completely destroys the defense's case. What do you mean by that? Explain yourself, Prosecutor Sogi. My learned friend's assertion was as follows. The victim was killed in a location on the day before his corpse was discovered, at the hands of the two red-headed League members when they imprisoned the inspector. But no, that can't be. After all, it was an inspector who went in the park that day. It was me. Oh goodness. Finally, we have clarity. We had nothing to do with the murder of the inspector. Bruno is wearing the, I think the outfit that you get if you, go to the second part of it, I think? But yeah, don't ask me about that thing. And let's see. Monsieur de la Defense for proving it. What? What are we talking about, bro? Order! Order! Order in the court! Indeed, it would appear that we have reached a de facto conclusion of sorts. These witnesses had no involvement in the murder of the victim. Dude, we didn't talk about Vigil. We didn't get to look at this. We didn't get to explain about this. This dismissal note. We didn't get none of this. We didn't get to talk about... What did we talk about? I think we didn't get to talk about none of this other three stuff, man. Come on, we got some more stuff we got to talk about. Come on now. As proven somewhat ironically by the defense. I hereby call it in to the cross-examination.
Hold it!
Is it Cosmo? Or is it Daily? Cosmo. Pardon me, my lord, but with your permission, I would like to pose one further question to the witness. Cosmo. What question, counsel? Concerns the events of 10 years ago. I believe you would have been present at the very significant execution that was carried out at that time. 10 years ago? The execution of the professor, Kitchener Sogi. I want to know exactly what your involvement was. Oh, answer me, man. One moment, counsel. Is this related to the current case? Naturally. It is prosecution's belief that this case and the events of 10 years ago are inextricably linked. Does the defense concur, counsel? Cosmo, you're not yourself. You're not as calm and collected as usual. Poor Cosmo-sama. No wonder he's acting this way. Mr. Vigil's memories of what happened 10 years ago would tell the tale of Kejita Sogi's last moments, his own father. I know, I do understand it, but even so. Cosmo, Prosecutor Sogi, do you genuinely believe that this question requires an answer in order to learn the truth behind Inspector Gregson's death? I need you to trust me. Please. Very well. The defense has no objections. I see. In that case, you will answer the question, witness. The truth is, I remember very little of that time. You've forgotten! I'm sorry to say, yes. As I said, I resigned from my role at the prison 10 years ago. But for some peculiar reason, my memories of the events leading up to that moment is extremely hazy. Does that not strike you as strange, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry? Well, 10 years is a long time, but to have forgotten the reason why he left such an important job... Yes, you're right. And not only that, Mr. Vigil's claim contradicts what we already know. The human spirit is a fragile thing. It's broken all too easily, which is why we have a tendency to wrap it up for protection. Sorry? The human spirit? I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean. When we experience pain and suffering that we feel unable to bear, we block it out, obliterate it from our memories, seal it away. But it never truly leaves us. If the seal is broken, the memories resurface. And what they do, that fragile spirit may finally be crushed. But I really don't. Cosmo-sama. But if it must be crushed, then so be it. Because the truth will not stay buried. It's coming out, one way or another. Right, now I understand what essential is. He means to expose the truth at any cost. Perhaps if I pointed out the contradiction in what Mr. Vigil claimed earlier, it might cause some crucial memories to return to him. But should I? Should I present this evidence or not? Let's do it. I have no idea how this is going to go. This is the court of law, and I have a duty to pursue the truth. Mr. Vigil, I'd like you to look at this. Evidence that clearly contradicts your version of the events.
Take that!
Just a few moments ago, you made the following statement. I resigned from my role at the prison 10 years ago. Ah, well, yes. In other words, you claim to have left the post of Chief Warden on your own violation. Well, yes, of course. Why? Because you're a hardcore captain. You got kicked out. Tell me, do you remember seeing this document before? No, I don't. This is a dismissal note ordering the immediate termination of the prison staff's member's appointment. A dismissal notice? And the name on the notice is yours, Mr. Vigil. What? What? It's mine? So you didn't resign from the prison service at all. For some reason, you were dismissed as Chief Warder from Barclay. No, there's been some mistake. I'm sure. I'm sure I tendered my resignation. This dismissal notice is nonsense. If you were forcibly dismissed, there must have been good reason. Clearly, you did something. Mr. Vigil, it's time to break the seal and have you remember. According to the few remaining records, the final execution that you supervised was on 17th of June, 10 years ago. On that day, something very serious took place at the Barclay prison. The
17th of June. Was that the professor's execution? Professor? As you were the chief warder at the time, it stands to reason that you would have been present throughout the proceedings. It does sound familiar. And yet, the execution never took place. The convict, obstinately executed earlier that day, literally emerged from his grave. The convict came back to life? In the cemetery in the middle of the night, there was a witness. However, the witness claims that a moment after he saw the convict clambering out of his grave, a gunshot rang from over his shoulders, and the bullet pierced Mr. Professor's chest, killing him instantly. Those may have been the Professor's actual last moments. Yes. Seeing as you were in charge of the overseeing execution at the time, you must know the truth about what really happened. It's in your head, somewhere deep down. I like how his eyes is going up every time he's thinking about it. He's like, and then he just goes down. Well, Chief Warder Daily Vigil, I know there are memories in your head that can explain what had happened on the 17th of June 10 years ago. And now it's time for you to drag them up. Mr. Vigil? Yes, the whole prison. It was complete chaos. The prisoner escaped. He was killed in the cemetery. The shocking news ripped through Barclay like a hurricane. What? What? Order! 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 Fish off the guard. That's what's up, Rico. Do you mean to say, Mr. Vigil, that your memories of that time have returned? My head, it's like some floodgates have been opened. The images, the screams. Oh, my goodness. The papers. There were reports, articles about a man who'd seen a ghost. Yes, Enoch Drebber. But surely those reports were exaggerated. There were traces at the scene. Traces of what? In Logate Cemetery, at plot number 139. Blood, lots of blood. That's where the man was buried, of course. Obviously, something terrible happened, or had happened there. The depths of the conspiracy and depravity from which this tale is emerging are quite staggering. I reviewed the police records from the time extensively, and thorough investigation was conducted by Scotland Yard to ascertain how the convict managed to escape in the first place. And the conclusion reached by the investigation team was, and I'm looking outside this case. Yeah, no one's out there. And make sure that a member of the prison staff must have been involved. Are you suggesting that a prison warder abetted the man's bid for freedom? Yes, and I was suspected of doing it, of using that mass murderer's execution as a way to help him escape. You did what? I remember now. The horror of it all is coming back to me. One evening, a few days after the execution, some detectives came to the prison. I was called to the governor's office at the top of the watchtower. I'm sorry, Daly. It's a serious business, but I cannot help you now. As chief warder, you are responsible for overseeing the execution of 4, eh? Well, it seems the fellows at Scotland Yard wants to have a few wee words with you about it. You'd better pack your things, laddie. You're to attend it in person. As soon as he told me that, my mind just went completely blank. And the next thing I knew, the professor, the most hated killer in our country's history. And I let him escape. I'm finished. My life is over. Yeah, I'm not screaming that. But yeah, he passed out. Order! Order in the court! Bailiff! Let the doctor at once! Oh yeah, that made he's a doctor. She just looked like, what the heck's this man doing? Court is adjourned for today with the immediate effect.
So, with Mr. Vigil's collapse, proceedings came to an abrupt end for the day.
Yeah, I mean, that man just killed his mindset. His mind died. I mean, he killed his mind. Now give me that.
Once again overshadowed by the legacy of that notorious killer, appearing like a cursed ghost ship on a foggy ocean. Lord Van Zeeks, Mr. Vigil, Kazuma, and Gregson. All of them bound by invisible chains anchored to the same wreckage in the murky depths of the past.
See, I wouldn't even think that that's the main character's voice, but I'm definitely not making that voice up.
But the miraculous light that had been trying to cut through the gloom and shine on those tragic events was playing on the edges of the truth at last.
That's with my daggone hand. To be continued? Question mark? So I guess this, we got more to do. So the question is, do I want to do more and try? You know what? I could try and do more. I got to late. I'm just gonna switch my controller around. Y'all give me a second. Let me switch my controller. Switch my controller real quick. Just be on the safe side. But controller, can you please don't do that? Actually, my bad. I probably should have did it for this right here. Okay, so the other part we can get rid of later. So, yeah. There we go. So we switch our controller, then we'll be good, Jay. There we go. So we are here. The question is, you know what? I'm gonna let the decision maker decide, bro. I'm gonna let the decision maker decide. Let me see. Decision maker. Do I need to so that's make it work? Yeah, decision maker, we need you. Yes to keep going and no to not keep going. One. Okay, so keep going. Alright, bet. Perfect, I guess. I'm gonna give you some water real quick. I'm gonna be right back. But yeah, why they do me like this, bro? Why y'all do me like this? I just need me some, cook with something. They said, nah, cook. the 2nd of November, 3:38 p.m. Shome Suite. I still can't quite believe what just happened. I know. I inquired with the bailiff after the court session was just adjourned. And it seems Mr. Vigil was taken to the hospital to recover. Right. 10 years ago now, Mr. Vigil attempted to commit suicide by jumping out of the window of the prisoner's governor's office. But ever since then, completely blocked the memory of those events from his mind. I knew a secret. Now his family, not even the man himself. But why forced it out into the open? Well, technically, it was you and Cosma. Don't say it's just you. You and Cosma both did it. Was it wrong of me to do that? Did I overstep my mark? Or overstep the mark, I wonder? Bruno. Oh, Iris. We're miles away. Anyway, I brewed a fresh pot of soothing tea for you. Oh, thank you. You and Susie had an exhausting day so far, haven't you? Oh. Thank you, Iris. How thoughtful of you. Do you happen to know where Mr. Sholmes is? When we came out of the courtroom back into the defendant's antechamber, he disappeared. Oh, no, I don't know. He suddenly sprang to his feet and left. All he said was, I must leave. I wonder if he's pursuing the mystery of Inspector Gregson's death. Well, you know what Hurley's always saying, don't you? There are mysteries in this world that should perhaps never be solved. For the construction of a solution comes only at the expense of the destruction of something else. What does that mean? He knows very well that when you open someone else's old wound, you often open your own too. But he can't just take his own advice and leave well alone. So mysteries is too important to him. That's so true. But that's what I like about Hurley after all. I suppose that's the lot of a great detective in some ways. Did someone just text me about something? What about? It's that text a second. What did they text about? So then, let's have tea, and then I'll give you a hand. Oh, do you have time, Iris? Wait, who just texted me about something? Oh, that's what just texted me about something. I just texted me about something. Give me a second. Alright, there you go. Let's go. Let's answer this thing real quick. Okay, get this thing straight. Someone text me about some nonsense. I'm gonna answer this text real quick. We go from there. They text me about. I'm sick about that. I think should be good. Alright, we're good. There we go. How to get that fixed. Yes, I finished this morning's manuscript at last. With barely a day to spare before the deadline. Oh, I'm so looking forward to it. A brand new story to read. The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. You know, I always hide Hurley's violin in the days before I have a deadline. You do? Poor Mr. Holmes. I'm sure that's very wise, Iris. How sensible of you. Now then, my dear fellows, let's make a plan of action before we consider our investigation. Okay, now I know I did that part. Now, the problem is this. Do I continue to keep going? Or do I, wait a minute and then go from there? Because we still got evidence. We got the evidence. We do have all the evidence. Do I want to? You know what? We'll try and make it work. We'll try and make it work. Read a little bit into it and stuff like that. So let's go. Let's go.
The Reaper's innocence. Let's talk about that. If Gregson was really murdered the day before his body was discovered, the Lord Van Zieks has to be innocent, you see. What? The day before? Well, that should be easy enough to work out. Just by examining the corpse, surely. Yes, you would expect so, but curiously, no time of death was included in its autopsy report. That is curious. There are still unanswered questions about Lord Van Zieks, though, aren't there? Ah, do you mean... I mean, what was he doing there on Fresno Street that day in the first place? Well, according to the man's testimony, he said he was investigating Inspector Gregson, didn't he? And it turned out that little room was actually the inspector's secret office. Oh, that sounds like it was all the makings of a wonderfully devilish plot. But then, why was the notice board in there covered in all those particular papers? Papers about the cases with a link to Reaper. I'm starting to get a bad feeling about all this. Oh dear, that sounds more like something horribly devilish. We must start by looking into Inspector Gregson's movements of late. Let's go. I never imagined I might have been might be investigating the Inspector's movements. Well, according to the entry in his diary, he was carrying out an incognito investigation of the Red-Headed League. Hold on. The day before his death. Oh, you mean he was doing the same as Hurley? Well, Mr. Scholes was trying to apply, whereas the inspector was supposed to be investigating. I do wish it had been the other way around. It's fair. Anyway, as it turns out, the inspector who went to investigate the Red-Headed League that day wasn't actually Gregson at all. It was Mr. Vigil, in possession of Gregson's identification. You know what that sounds like to me? Establishing an alibi. Oh my! Yes, you're absolutely right, Iris. But why would Gregson need an alibi? It would appear that the inspector had something to do that he wished to keep a secret. I don't believe it. I always thought he was just a harmless lover of fish and chips. But perhaps they were seasoned with something a little more potent than salt and vinegar. I think perhaps we should try to move away from food analogies. Well, anyway, if Lord Van Zieks felt the need to investigate Gregson, yes, I agree. We must try to find out what he knows. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's go about the conditions. Vigil, you say? Indeed, Vigil is
Let's say he is built a different way, and he is a different breed of you know what. Isn't that the name of the lady who came to visit Hurley yesterday? Yeah, Evie Vigil. That's right. So ask Mr. Sholmes if he would help her to find her missing husband. Well, Mr. Sholmes completely passed the buck to us. Actually, didn't you say Mr. Vigil had been taken to the hospital? Do you know which one? Is it the St. Sinners one? Ah, it's St. Sinners. Of course it is. Thank you for letting me know. I'm starting to wonder if all the other hospitals in London have closed down. But that's amazing, Bruno. You found the lady's husband already. Well, I suppose I have, by accident. And 10 years ago, while Mr. Vigil was the chief warder at the prison, he was responsible for overseeing the professor's incarceration. No. So when the convict escaped, he was held responsible and immediately dismissed. Sometimes I really don't want to grow up. There's more. For 10 years after that, while he was ostensibly working as a peddler, he also had another secret job. He was paid by Gregson to be a stand-in, to impersonate the inspector. To impersonate Grexy? But why? I have absolutely no idea. Jenny was right. I'm starting to think all adults are up to no good now. Including you, Bruno. I haven't paid anyone to impersonate me. That means he has ties to the professor and to Inspector Gregson, though. So I do think we ought to pay a visit to Mr. Vigil, don't you? Back to St. Sinners, then. How about, girl, look. If I wanted to do some nonsense, guess what? You wouldn't know about it anyway. So, how did it go in the court this morning? Well, we still don't know the truth about what really happened. But one thing's increasingly clear. Lord Van Zeeks definitely didn't do it. Oh, goody. Yes, that's right. We managed to uncover several new facts as well. Oh, really? There's another development too. Cosima. Yes, it's quite clear now that Cosmo-sama is not himself. The way he's acting, it's almost as if he's possessed. I know. I mean, at the end of the proceedings earlier, he was like a bloodhound the way he was chasing down Mr. Vigil's forgotten past. He's not normally so mercilessly persistent. What's going on in his head, I wonder? I really need to sit down with Cosmo and try to understand what he's going through. Now here we can stop whenever we get a chance. Well, I think it's clear what we need to do, isn't it? Let's investigate, my dear fellows. Oh, Iris, you're even more enthusiastic than usual today. If anyone has anything to hide, my special Wilson shooting iron will soon set them straight. That water pistol? It's stuffed full of piping hot extra special plate of mine. I'm not gonna lie. If anyone starts lying, I feel bad and I pray for their downfall. That they're not gonna get cooked up that bad. Well, I'm quite sure it'll be very effective. Yeah, completely effective. I'd better be careful not to hide anything. Well, it feels like a little strange that Mr. Sholmes is nowhere to be seen, but still. Let's go and see what we can find out. But they both said yes altogether now. Okay, let us save here. We are saving here, chat. We are saving here. What I'll do is I'll either stream this tomorrow or I'll stream it the day after that. And go from there and all stuff. But yeah, y'all, we're going to stop here and I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace and love, y'all. Yee.